Hey, welcome to Koco's Corner. I am the huge one, Dave Koco from Kocosports.com or KOCOsports.net. It takes you to the same place. It's where the world comes to kick ass. Your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. This is our weekly Lucha Underground review. It's a little bit late. Real life gets in the way. We already did a SmackDown review, so please check that out by Boom Boom. Much love. Yeah, as always, we ask you win, loss, or tie. What did you think? And every show that I've done of Lucha Underground, I fell in love, and I've given it a win. It's got twice that it was close to be a tie. But this was such a great show that I think it above win. I really did enjoy this show. With that said, there was two things that I absolutely despise in pro wrestling that was in this show. And even though I despise it, and I still despise it, and I wish it was out of pro wrestling, they still did a good job with it. So it's one of those things you're like, I fucking hate broccoli and cheese. I couldn't think of a food I hate. Onions and peppers. Oh, God, do I hate onions and peppers. All right, stuffed peppers. I fucking hate stuffed peppers. But Lucha Underground delivered me the best stuffed peppers that a boy could ever have. All right, let's break this down as best we can. The opening match is everything that I love about luchadors. They have my favorite luchador there right now is Aerostar. I'm a huge fan of him, so I'm glad he's there. Versus Drago. They're doing nothing but athletic moves. Just one Aerostar does this high-risk move off the top rope, then bounces on the second rope to the outside, and it looks like it's a botch that he's about to kill himself, and he just last second pulls out of it and does something amazing. Just super quick, just a high-octane match, just amazing lucha. It's some of my favorite pro wrestling of all time. I really love this style of wrestling. I know it's not for everybody, but I like this style of wrestling. And on top of that, I think this style of wrestling is the perfect style of wrestling to start off a show. I always thought like either really good comedy matches or just crazy lucha, X Division, cruiserweight, Dragon Gate, whatever you want to call this style of match. I call it fucking amazing. It was a bit short and you wanted more. Last time Drago got the win and shook his hand. This time Aerostar gets the win with a springboard splash. And they shake hands again. Then the owner comes out. And I always fuck up the owner's name because I fucking suck at any other language. I suck at all the languages. But the Spanish one, not so good. But Dario Curto, oh man, please don't send me hate mail for slaughtering that. I want to apologize to any human being that's ever spoke Spanish before. But we'll just call him the owner, so I'm not so embarrassed and red in the face. But the owner comes out, and I can't help it, dude. I absolutely love this owner. I'm gonna put it over like $1 million. I don't. It's just he's amazing at what he does. He plays the villain without being a complete fucking jackass. And Vince McMahon at one time was the heel guy, and since he's the monopoly, everyone has the heel owner. And when you go to a lot of indie feds, especially if you go to a lot of bad indie feds, oh god, do they have some fucking jackass, evil fucking owners that's fucking beyond embarrassing. But this guy has perfected it. This guy is just absolutely awesome at being sleazy and scummy and acting. I'm going to put him over later because he has another great promo later. But he comes out there and he makes it the best of 5, and the people go absolutely crazy. And he says they'll have a unique opportunity, which would be cool to see the winner of this series go on. But, you know, a lot of best of 5s, if you've watched pro wrestling as much as me, especially if you watch some indie stuff, there are some really, you know, for every pro wrestling gorilla, there's 976 indies that make you want to stab yourself in the fucking eyes. But usually best of 5s, best of 7s are absolutely horrible. But, dude, this feud between Aerostar and Drago, dude, you can make this a best of 100 a best of 1,005, a trillion. Dude, I can watch this match over and over and over again. And these guys are such great athletes that you know they're going to have creative moves. And the whole thing is, when it comes to the two Aerostar versus Drago matches, you just, when the match is over, you're just like, no, I fucking want more. It reminds me of WrestleMania weekend, a Ring of Honor. They had the Dragon Gate match, and it was a Dragon Gate team match, and just the audience was just chanting for more. They're like, please never stop. Please never stop. They keep going, all crazy chants, because they just never wanted this match to end. And I have that feeling with Aerostar and Drago. And granted, you know, there's always the marketing. Oh, well, we give less is more, less is more. But dude, a best of 5, not enough. A best of 105, I'm still on board. I'm still on board. So hopefully these guys will get more and more time. Like I said before, I don't know. I'm not a Lucha expert, but you know, the original Sin Cara, the original Mystico is the Michael Jordan. Well, to me, in my humble opinion, Aerostar is like the Scottie Pippen, the second greatest. Scottie Pippen's not the same. Fuck you, Chicago Bulls, 90s, rule the fucking world. True story, fact. All right, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the promo, and I'm glad it's matched. Because like even when the match was going on, I was like, oh fuck, Aerostar versus Drago. Oh fuck, I hope this feud never ends. I just, you know, and it's weird. You don't get that much. You don't get that in wrestling much. It reminds me of, you know, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio before their WWE days. It also kind of reminds me of Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam. When Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam wrestled, when Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio wrestled, you never wanted the feud to end. And there's very few athletes that match up that happens. You know, like even in Japan, I live in Japan. Even in Japan, you have Okada and Tanahashi, and it's split. Like some people are like, I never want to see Okada and Tanahashi ever in the same fucking ring again. And some people are like, hey, send them out again. Send them out again. So I don't know. As of right now, though, Aerostar versus Drago, I really enjoyed it. I just think, matter of fact, I think it's the ultimate opener of any fucking show. You know, you want to fucking start a show, send out Aerostar versus Drago first to get the fucking audience into it in a heartbeat. Next this is a stuffed pepper situation. This is where I'm like, you know, I love you, Mr. Lucha. Lucha, you fucking are the best show on American television. Oh, I do love me some New Japan. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to compare the two, but I don't want to choose between my children. But yeah, I hate fucking non-title matches. I think non-title matches are the dumbest fucking thing in the world. I think they're absolutely horrible. With that said, I still enjoyed this match. Prince Puma needs a new belt ASAP. I like the storyline where they rip the belt in half, and Prince Puma has to fucking go against these huge odds to go against Cage, and I enjoy all that, but him not having a belt, I'm like, no, he's the fucking champ. Give him a goddamn belt. Hey, fucking owner guy that I can't pronounce your name, get on the fucking ball. Get another belt going on. But yeah, I enjoyed this match. This was a really good match. I'm a muscleist, so before I knew what Cage could do, I was against him. But from, you know, the internet infantry yelling at me and me checking some stuff out on YouTube and watching him on Lucha Underground, he's really impressive. And I thought this was a very good big man versus small man. I say this all the time, but Matt Striker, I think, is the best in the business. End of story. And not only is Matt Striker the best in the business, I thought tonight's show was Matt Striker. Like, I think, you know, at one time, I don't really keep up with basketball, hence why all my references are from the 90s. But at one time, I thought Michael Jordan was the best in the business, best in the world at what he did. And I think, I think it's one of those special nights where Michael Jordan scored 70. It was one of those special nights that you are the best, but he went all out. Yeah, so just a commentary on this is absolutely awesome. You got Cage wins via Conan stoppage. Conan comes out. I enjoyed this, and it's interesting. It's a non-title match, so it's setting up for a third match. Cage is number one. They sold it as like, oh, well, Conan just handed it to him. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it all. I thought Conan was going to be a face. I was like, yeah, about time. Conan the good guy. And that changed with a backstage segment. I'm like, Conan, you sneaky bastard. You had me on board, you sneaky bastard. But no, I enjoyed it. It was a bit short, but it's a non-title. It's like, all right. I don't like non-titles, but I'll take one bite of your stuff, fucking pepper. Let's get past it. Dear Mr. Lucha, fat guy on YouTube. That's me. Yeah, if you could, never have a non-title match again. Love, fat guy on YouTube. I'm so egotistical, I thought I'd say my name twice. Anyway, yeah, so it's good storyline and all that, and man, Cage's finisher, or I don't even know if that's finisher, but the movie pulled on Prince Puma is a must-watch, and not only that, but every match, well, maybe not Pentagon Jr. match, we'll talk about that, but every match had a Joey Styles, oh my god moment. It was, I just, fucking go watch Lucha Underground, you sons of bitches. But no, I enjoyed it, even though it was still a stuffed pepper. And like, come on. No more non-title matches. All right, we've had one. We saw how it went. You go. But afterwards, you had Puma upset backstage, and Conan says he did him a favor, and it's all part of his plan. And I was like, oh, Conan, I thought you were Mickey. I thought you were a good guy. You got some evil fucking heel plan going on, Conan. Why? But it was enjoyable. And then this is fucking segment of the night, storyline of the night. The fucking owner and Sexy Star, both characters looked fantastic. Both of them. I mean, the owner looked so sleazy. Sexy Star looked so brave. Just in general, this... I usually don't brag about fucking segments. Usually I'm like, oh, whatever, fucking segment sucked. All right, not bad. If there was short segments of telling a story, helping one character look evil, have one character look brave, whoever wrote this, shot this, whoever, fucking give yourself a Barry Horowitz. Go ahead. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz. Because this is one of the first times I was fucking, I was watching, this, and it was just absolutely amazing. I watched the Lucha Underground with my wife because she's on vacation right now, and she only likes Dragon Gate and New Japan Live, and she actually found this to be interesting. She thought this segment was interesting. She thought the main event was interesting. And my wife, she doesn't watch any fucking pro wrestling on TV. She's just like, all right, if I have to go, I'll fucking... And I'm like, but she's, so picky. She's like, I only like wrestling if I sit ringside and it's one of my favorite companies. Other than that, fuck it. But no, for a television show, she was hooked. And one of it was the Sexy Star segment. And it was basically Sexy Star goes in there and the owner, she says she wants to fight the men. She doesn't need men to rescue her and all that fun stuff. And she wants to go after the crew, which, by the way, the crew is just a great heel faction. They're doing such a great job. I mean, you legit fucking just want to boo them. And I think that's the ultimate heel. It's not fucking heel like, oh, you're fucking handed everything and we fucking hate you. No, they're fucking a legit heel team, and there's not many legit heel teams out there. Most fucking people that you hate are fucking untalented pieces of shit that fucking get everything handed to them, and then WWE's like, they're a main eventer. Of course they are. But this is a heel team that fucking holds their own, and you legit hate the fucking characters without hating the wrestlers. And a lot of companies nowadays cannot fucking pull that off. And Sexy Star says she wants to fight. She says, okay, well, the owner goes, I'll give you Big Rick. And she's like, I don't want a team. And she's like, no, you'll fight Big Rick. And it just showed how brave Sexy Star was, how shitty and scummy the owner is. It was just such a great thing. So next week, Big Rick versus Sexy Star. # go fuck yourself, Stephanie McMahon, you fucking cunt. So, yeah, I fucking really enjoyed this segment. Next, you had more of a storyline, but they're doing a better job at getting Pentagon Jr. over. Pentagon Jr. went from Chavo Guerrero's bitch who looks fucking cool. It's like Pentagon Jr. looks like a Mortal Kombat character if a Mortal Kombat characters were fucking, Chavo's fucking little valet. But he's really working his own. They're really selling the master storyline, and he's just fucking becoming so strong, so dominant, and it's really exciting. And he wins pretty easily, and then throws him through a table, and then cuts his arm. And I'm a huge fan of this. Maybe it's because I used to be a cameraman. The camera work at Lucha Underground is absolutely amazing, and I put over the camera work anytime I can, just because being a former cameraman. It's just when they go to snap the arm, they just fucking put the camera away, and then they come back, and it just makes it seem more real. It really is a pro wrestling move, and a pro wrestling match can look a million times better with good camera work. And that was really good camera work. So it was a really one-sided match. But with that said, it moved the storyline along. And Vampiro and the announce team just did one hell of a job for it. All right, next you got King Carino. I'm mispronouncing that. I'm saying it like it's Steve Carino, and that's probably not how you pronounce it. Versus Johnny Mundo from WWE. Also known as John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, and this was a really great match. They had Johnny Mundo does this side flip. Even Lucha Underground I tweeted about it. They did a GIF of it, and it just looks amazing. He just fucking twisting and turning. It's fucking like every match has an oh shit fucking type moment, an amazing move. And 1 hour show. What are we talking about? 4 matches. And 3 of the matches, and fuck it, I'll even say all 4 matches. All 4 matches have a worthy move, fucking a move of the night, and it was pretty awesome to see. It was a really quick, fast-paced match. It ends in a double countout. It gets booed. This is where I get the stuffed pepper. I am not a fan, especially if you have a smaller building. I am not a fan of brawling around arenas. I just don't. Usually when people brawl around the arena, it's just like, oh, this shit's fake. It's the same thing where if, in my opinion as a fan here, if there's a backstage brawl and you show a couple fucking chair shots, a couple punches, and it's a 30-second clip, you're like, oh shit, what's going on back there? And you're still in the zone. But if you're like, no, fucking let's follow the camera, and there's always that 1 or 2 wrestlers looking to the camera like, are we still on the air? And it's just awkward. So I do not like brawls around the arena. With that said, I don't like fucking this, but they did a pretty decent job of it. Vampiro, I hate to say this because he's such a legend, is kind of the weak link of the announce team, but he's really growing into his own. During this match, I thought this is the best Vampiro has ever done. And the fans crowding around Vampiro not flipping the fuck out like Bobby the Brain Heenan was a nice touch. I think Vampiro, and I threw Vampiro under the bus before, and I feel guilty for it because he's such a fucking legend. But I think Vampiro is really coming in his own and really improving. But out of something I don't like, I thought they did a decent backstage brawl, and they end the show, or at least what would feel as the live feed. They end the live feed and the announcers with him just crashing through a cage, both competitors crashing through a cage, and it leaves you interesting where it goes. And I'm glad that's where they cut it, because I'm not going to say any names, but I'm going to think TNA very loudly. They probably would have fucking kept the camera on him for 200 fucking years. So I give the show a win. They did have 2 stuffed peppers, but it was the best 2 stuffed peppers I've had in a really long time. And then at the very end, there's basically a limo, and it's just driving, and there's the woman we've seen around the temple. She's tied up in a car or truck, and it's just really, really interesting storyline. It's very movie-ish. I don't know, some like purist might get upset about that, but it's very movie-ish. And none of that, but I have to go back and check. There's talk in our community, our online community here. I don't want to say IWC because fucking that's a fake terrorist group. Hashtag thanks IWC. They're not real. But yeah, online, just people were talking about how this scene that they end the show with connects to episode 1. And as a writer slash storyteller, I enjoy that. It builds so much confidence in the product that the writers look that far in advance. And I just love little details like that. And if that's the case, I'm going to look at it. I call that the Futurama, where they pay attention so much to the story and they pay attention to where it's going that something in episode 1 still means something this far. I have no idea what number episode they're on, but I enjoyed the ride. So there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Twitter, SportsFan77. Thank you so much for all your favorites and tweets and retweets. Much love. SportsFan77 at MarcusNY15. You are like the king of the internet infantry when it comes to Twitter. You're always showing us some love, so I really appreciate it. So everyone, if you can hear my voice live or not live, follow at MarcusNewYork15. He's one of my favorite Twitter guys. All right, boom, 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 boom. Facebook, thank you for the likes, and bam, we got some live comments. Much love. Let's see where this goes. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you for the live comments. Let's see. Pay-per-view profit. He won Wrestle Kingdom's pay-per-view profit, first pay-per-view profit of the year. We've had a couple since then. I am Mike Ashman. Rey Mysterio's WWE deal expired and was not renewed. Yes, you can read that on Kocosports.net. That's actually not part of the thing. Oh, by the way, help wanted at Kocosports.net. If you're awesome, please, we need our help. If you're awesome, we are not as awesome as we want to be. So it would be cool if we could work together and be as awesome together. So Rey Mysterio left. Sorry, I got off track. I apologize. I'm Mikey. Which is why he's now officially gone from the company. And that's good. That's good. Rey Mysterio, I don't know, just be free, man. There was an agreement in place between WWE and Rey from late November or early December where WWE would release him from his contract at the end of February. Word is that Rey will be doing a number of signing appearances, but likely won't be wrestling right away. And I understand. I don't know what his health is, but we haven't seen him in ring forever. And not only that, but I can't see how newer fans... I feel bad for newer fans. Because you see Rey Mysterio, and he's kind of a broken man / disappearing. If you're a younger fan, and you like Rey Mysterio, or you wondering why we fucking put Rey Mysterio over like $1 million, just go try to find Rey Mysterio younger days. Look before Rey Mysterio entered WCW. He's just one of the best luchadors of all time. Rey Mysterio before WCW is a trillion, billion, zillion times better than the Rey Mysterio that you saw. Because a lot of times we get younger fans be like, why do you think Rey Mysterio is so great? Dude, you gotta see him before his WCW days. He is absolutely amazing. And who knows? Hopefully he's healing up. Hopefully he comes back motivated. Rey Mysterio is actually one of my son's favorite pro wrestlers of all time. Let's see. WWE and Rey from late November, early December. Okay, yeah. Word is that Rey will be doing it. Okay, we read this. Rey is expected to wrestle for Lucha Underground, but as of this afternoon, the two sides have not signed a new deal. Rey may be coming into Lucha Underground as the person who introduced Conan to Lucha Underground champion Prince Puma. And that makes sense. I always, not that I knew, but I always had a feeling that that was Rey Mysterio. Like, even when Conan was talking about it, a good friend. Matter of fact, I always thought the character was Rey Mysterio, and I thought if Rey Mysterio never showed up, we were just never going to know. I just always thought Conan's good friend was Rey Mysterio. I don't know if anyone else felt that way. Like, even if Rey Mysterio stayed with WWE, I felt as a fan watching Lucha Underground, when Conan said a good friend, I just thought it was Rey Mysterio. And if he shows up, that's even better. Rey will likely make his return to Mexico's AAA promotion at the March 15th Rey de Reyes event. AAA has announced a press conference for later this week, and that could be where they announce Mysterio's return. And I have to get more into Lucha. There's so much good pro wrestling now that it's hard, because I watch the Japan stuff. By the way, I got it in the background. I got the New Japan World playing right now. I'll probably do a review of that later. I just want to make sure I watch it in detail. But yeah, it's hard. Like, two things that I need to follow more is independent women Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and more Lucha. I don't follow it as much as I want to. But yeah, that'd be awesome if they had Mysterio's return. Mysterio is expected to ask for big money to make indie appearances, and I understand. Just yeah, it's gonna happen. Especially a lot of times, a lot of times when a WWE guy leaves, I used to be an indie promoter, and I was the type of indie promoter that I built local stars and barely ever used other talent. Like we had Dustin Rhodes, Bam Bam Bigelow, the Nasty Boys, but a lot of that talent just fell in our lap. There was a lot more, but those were the key guys that we got that were over. I just always thought like, oh, $500. Well, okay, let's say you're $500 because that's what a WWE guy usually goes for, especially the farther out. Unless, of course, he's just straight out of WWE, then he's going to cost a lot more. But I was always like, $500. We have giant crowds with guys we're paying $20 and $40. It's hard to justify that. But I think Rey Mysterio, if you have a big enough arena, and a lot of times, people will be like, I want $10,000, $25,000. And a lot of times it's like, fuck off and die. It's not worth it. You're never going to get that much money. Fuck off and die. And a lot of people are like, I want 1,000, I want 2,000. And maybe they're not worth it. But here's the thing. If you get a big enough arena, I think Rey Mysterio is worth it. Like, I would consider, because I don't know what his big payday is, but let me put it this way. If you line up everything, like I used to run shows out of Tampa. I would go to the fairgrounds. This is if I was a promoter. I would go to the fairgrounds, find out what's a big event for the Latino community, and yeah, I would definitely pay Rey Mysterio $20,000 if I had a big enough venue. I'm thinking the fairgrounds. You could get a nice size arena at the fairgrounds going. Wait till some Latino event happens there, and then be like, "Here's your $20,000," and you could probably get that money back. You have to actually do something wrestling promoters hate to do. You have to promote. You know what I mean? You'd have to promote. But yeah, Rey Mysterio is different. It depends on how big of the Latino community. Because you get the Latino community, you got the WWE community, you got the cruise. No, Rey Mysterio might be worth the money. Now the problem is that's a lot of fucking money, and on top of that, you have to actually bust your ass. But at the end of the day, you can make a really good killing with a Rey Mysterio. He's a guy that hits all the markets. So yeah, Rey Mysterio is probably asking for big money, and I think it's worth it, especially if you're. I don't know about the DVD type company. If you're a DVD type company, I don't know if you'll ever get that money back. Maybe, maybe not. But if you're a live event company and you can get a big enough arena and market it, yeah, you can definitely make your money. I think Rey Mysterio is worthy of that big money to make that indie appearance. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says, Lucha Underground wins. Such a great product with flawless storylines in an era where pro wrestling lacks all logic. Lucha Underground and the alternatives of pro wrestling today is going to put Vince to shame in due time. Believe it. I hope so. I really do hope so. I honestly think the more you support the Lucha Undergrounds, the TNAs, you support, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the more you support these second-tier companies, and I don't mean that as an insult, it's just WWE has a monopoly. The more you support these second-tier companies, I don't know if they'll ever take Vince McMahon out of business because he's a survivor, but Vince McMahon will have to actually give the fans what they want. He's like, hashtag we're listening, keep watching. Yeah, if the ratings keep going down, Lucha Underground keeps having success, TNA has success, New Japan has success, yeah, then that will be a legit fucking tweet. Now, that's just fucking lip service. Yeah, okay, keep watching. Sure, Vince. All right. Drago vs. Aerostar is my favorite luchador rivalry. I don't know, man. There's been some really classics, and that's tough. I don't know. I love Drago and Aerostar, and I think Aerostar is my second favorite luchador going right now, and maybe even my first. I don't know. I still want to see the original Mystico, the original Sin Cara make a comeback. It breaks my heart as a luchador fan that never worked out. But yeah, it's a really good rivalry, and it's something. But the greatest is my all-time favorite. There's some really good luchador rivals. All right. Ralph Morales says AAA should give back to Octagon should give back the Octagon Junior gimmick. Kalisto was giving the gimmick, but it was short-lived, and he would go on to NXT. The older generation, Pentagon and Octagon, had some great matches. Classic feud. Interesting. Andre Corbell, I'm probably mispronouncing that. I apologize, my Canadian friends. Hey, Koco, figured I'd join you in the convo. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Hopefully you got your channel back. It just sucks what YouTube does to us. Ralph Morales says, win. Pentagon Jr. is a badass. He didn't start off as a badass. I thought he always looked like a badass, but now they are booking and telling the story where he's a badass. I like how the crowd cheers him, even though he's the heel. Yeah, I like that too. I like a small audience, a small local audience that isn't told what to cheer or not to cheer. Like, me personally, if you lived in California and someone says you have tickets to any event not named WrestleMania or Lucha Underground, I would pick Lucha Underground. Like, come on, what would be more fun? Hanging out with the believers in Lucha Underground, or fucking hanging out with those fucking dipshits at Fastlane? I'm just saying, I would rather have fun, and that's one thing that, not to pick on WWE, but fuck you. When you're the monopoly and you're fucking shitty, you deserve to get picked on. This is one thing I was talking about with WWE in my reviews. It's just, if you know nothing about Lucha Underground and you show up, you're gonna have a good time. You really have to go out of your way to be at a Lucha Underground event and not have a good time. And the same thing, like, if I don't know anything about soccer, but my son is like a really, really, really good soccer player in Tokyo. So now I have to get into soccer. And if I go watch soccer with a bunch of Americans, it's boring as shit. But you go with a bunch of Japanese, Australians, UK, Brazilians, it's exciting. And it's WWE is like watching soccer in America. You're like, this ain't fucking fun. You want to have fun. And Lucha Underground, it looks like they're having fun. You're enjoying yourself, and you let loose a little more. Like, I don't know anything about music, and I was invited to a country music concert in Tampa at the Dallas Bowl. And I just remember going, I don't really know anything about music. I really don't know about fucking anything, I don't know about it. And I went there and I had a great time because the audience had a great time and they were having fun. And that's what you get at Lucha Underground. And I think that's what's hurting WWE. Like, you can't have fun. Like, if you know nothing about WWE and you see a bunch of people booing Roman Reigns with signs, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're the casual fan. This is WWE's market. And you see people getting kicked out of the arena, taking their signs away. That's just not fun. That's not fucking fun. I'm sorry. It's not fun. And it's so funny because WWE's like, oh, we want casual fans. Let me tell you, I have a lot of friends outside, out in the real world, outside of this computer box, that know nothing about pro wrestling. But, like, I have a co-writer who doesn't know nothing about pro wrestling. If I took him to Lucha Underground, without him knowing anything about pro wrestling, he would have fun. If I took him to Fastlane, he'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is what you do in your fucking free time? You haven't fucking wrote a new book in a year because you're fucking here? And I'd be like, what am I doing with my life? All right. Lucha Underground wins. Such a great okay, we say that. Do you think with the awesome storytelling by Lucha Underground, they will be successful to be able to capture the luchador icon that is Rey Mysterio? I think so. I think so because you're working with AAA, you're working with Lucha Underground. You can also work in Ring of Honor, and I don't know if you can work in New Japan, but that's going to be interesting because you have someone that you have plenty of options, and I think Rey Mysterio. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I would be shocked shocked if Rey Mysterio never shows up in Lucha Underground. I'm just utterly shocked. I just think he has the freedom. It's a great product. It's respectful. And not only that, but he is also free to go to AAA. He's free to go to Ring of Honor. Is he free to go to New Japan? I don't know. You know, TNA is the only fucking asshole in the second place fucking battle that's like, no, we're going to do our own thing. Yeah, okay. We'll see how that works out, champ. Where do you think Lucha Underground is taking the Chavo quitting storyline? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's one of those things when you pick up a book from an author that you like, and you're like, wow, I don't know what's going to happen. And you keep turning the pages because you trust that storyteller is going to tell something. It's like watching Lost with the polar bear. A lot of people that, if you're a really big fan of Lost, you trust J.J. Abrams. So when a polar bear randomly shows up, you're like, no, I trust J.J. Abrams. This is going somewhere. Where some people might argue about the finale, but those people would be wrong. So you trust J.J. Abrams. Same thing with Stephen King, if you enjoy him, or your favorite author. You trust him. So, like, I compare that to Lucha Underground. Like, if the polar bear shows up on Lucha Underground, you're like, oh, I'm going to see where this goes. I trust this storyline. Where if it's a bad storytelling, you don't trust them, you know? So I trust him. I don't know where it's going. I imagine if I had to guess, I'm just guessing here, he just wanted some time off, you know? And not only that, but he's a big name, big star. There's only an hour. You got to rotate people in, rotate people out. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of Chavo, but it's just a good way to get him off screen and all that. Hopefully he comes back. I actually love Chavo. I mean, the only time I ever was like, fuck you, Chavo, was when he was trying to be fucking feuding with a midget, and he's like, you don't know anything. I'm like, I'm sorry, we thought you were a fucking pro wrestler. I think that's the only time Chavo Guerrero's ever disappointed me, and I think I did like a fucking 20-minute podcast how Chavo Guerrero should suck fucking cock. But besides the whole Hornswoggle thing and him actually defending that piece of shit fucking storyline, I've always liked Chavo, and hopefully he can shine again. All right, I'm going to refresh one more time, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Hopefully I can get an NXT review in shortly. If not, maybe Boom Boom can. All right, I think that's it for live comments. Boom, boom, boom. And Ralph retweeted us, or favored us. What, Ralph? At Rotten Ralph 13, ROTTENRALPH. And I don't know why I went all retarded on you there. But at Ralph 13 has favored our tweet. Now, I don't know. I favorite tweets sometimes too. But Ralph, come on, baby. Go that extra yard and just retweet us. You can do it. Don't be scared. In the lines of Nick Diaz, don't be scared, homie. He didn't. Sportsfan77 favored us. All right. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out Kocosports.net. We are working to expand our roster of reporters, writers, contributors. So hopefully that this site can be as awesome as I dream it to be. Jerry has been working really hard on it. On some days, on even days. Jerry works really hard on even days. On the odd days, he's a fucking douche master. So please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to help this show, no, we're not going to do a Patreon. I don't understand that. Pay us so I can give you a product for free. No Patreons here. But if you want to support the show, you can go to Kocosports.net, be a part of that community, and we do have a T-shirt. If you buy the T-shirt, if you buy the T-shirt, we will do a Q&A of your 5 questions, a Stump the Idiot, and hopefully you enjoy the shirt, you know? All right, so now I'm just in repeating phase. Lucha Underground, give yourself a Barry Horowitz. No more non-title matches. And like, comment, subscribe. Check out Kocosports.net. And Ralph retweeted us, folks. High fives all around, baby. We went from favorite to retweet. Woo! Everyone, go at Rotten Ralph 13. Yes. Woo! We went to retweet, baby. You know what? That's as best I can do. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Kocosports.net. And with that, I am over. Bum, 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 bum.